This is the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You're inside Jamaica Magazine.
Encouraging the information flow, sharing the news and views you need to know.
We are building an informed Jamaica every day.
Listening to what you say.
It's Thursday, December 10, and it's our pleasure to welcome you to today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Samantha Allen. Coming up, government pensioners to get increases in January, $477 million spent on wells to ease water crisis, and JPS reopens Constant Spring hydroelectric plant. Later, Issues and Answers focuses on the work that the Jamaica Fire Brigade has been mandated to do. Stay with us, the news in detail after the break.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Radio.
We'll have Caricom Bills and House Matters in our features package.
And now the news, I'm Kevin Clark. Research and publications. Television.
It's Wednesday, October 28th. We've got a hot Jamaica Magazine. Welcome to another edition of
Editorial and photography. Public relations.
It is set to be the driving force of the agency.
All this and more in one place. 4 divisions, 15 departments.
The largest organization of its kind in Jamaica and I dare say in the English-speaking Caribbean.
One strategic objective.
Truth. Well told.
It's the Jamaica Information Service.
the voice of Jamaica. And now the news. Government pensioners are to get increases in their benefits come January of next year. The announcement was made yesterday by Senator Arthur Williams, the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. $500 million was set aside in the 2009-2010 budget to increase the payments made to government pensioners. Senator Williams says Cabinet signed off on how that amount will be applied on November 16. It guarantees that all government pensioners earning less than $30,000 a month will have a monthly increase of $2,075. Those earning between $30,000 and $49,000 will get an increase of $1,875 per month. Meanwhile, $1,350 will be added to pension payments of those earning over $50,000 a month. Senator Williams says the minimum pension payable to persons who have retired due to ill health will also increase. For those who have served between 10 and 20 years, the payment will move from $96,000 to $180,000 annually. For those who have served 20 or more, the pension increases from $144,000 to $228,000. The benefits to widowers and widows have also increased by $2,000 per month. Extensive work is to take place under the government's National Drought Mitigation Program over the next 6 months. $477 million is being spent to address the island-wide water shortage and bring relief to householders. The program was outlined by Water and Housing Minister Dr. Horace Chang at yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing. He says 5 wells will be developed in the corporate area at a cost of $142 million.
That would bring on stream almost 5 million gallons of water per day in the corporate area. And owing to the fact we did recognize we could have a problem as a government, and early on we started planning, And by March of this year, we should bring on stream some 22 rural water supply program projects that we had planned, and many of them coming on stream now. In fact, most of them, some 17, besides the 3 already completed, will come on stream between now and February as a result of the capital provided in the supplementary estimates this year.
3 of the 22 water systems have already been commissioned. Meanwhile, $297 million will be spent to increase the trucking of water over the next 6 months.
We intend to use extensively in trucking private sector, since rapid response is now a private company in its own way. But we are going to bring in some trucks to increase the available fleet for emergencies and for public institutions.
An aggressive public education program is also being unfolded. The $17 million drive is intended to get persons to conserve on the precious liquid. The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCO, has boosted its power generating capacity. Yesterday, the company officially reopened its Constant Spring hydroelectric power plant, which had been out of service since 2001. The plant is powered by the Hermitage Dam and the Wogwater and Boer rivers. It will allow JPS to add 0.77 megawatts of electricity to the national grid. This represents service to nearly 1,600 homes. It is expected that the newly rehabilitated plant will also result in fuel cost savings of approximately $600,000 per year based on current fuel prices. $1 million was spent to rehabilitate the facility, and the renewable energy project is a joint venture between JPS and the National Water Commission, the NWC. Minister of Mining and Energy James Robertson says the reopening of the plant ties in with the 2009-2030 National Energy Policy. A main aim of that policy is the diversification of fuels and development of renewable energy resources.
And I want to say to you this morning, JPS, and to the Water Commission, thank you for embracing our vision and the policy. When you look at this plant and you see no emissions or very little carbon emissions, I would venture to say none. This is the future.
JPSCO says its next renewable energy project will be the expansion of the Magate hydroelectric power plant in St. Elizabeth. There are also plans for another hydroelectric plant at Rio Grande in Portland. Mr. Robertson says the plans are in keeping with the government's target of having at least 7 more plants across the island in addition to the current 6. To support that, there is a policy now in place which provides an incentive to companies that invest in renewable energy. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service has ceased the granting of discretionary waivers on duties. This was announced by Minister with Responsibility for Information Darrell Vaz, speaking at yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House.
Cabinet on Monday the 23rd, 2009, decided that with effect from December 1st, 2009, there will be a freeze on the granting of discretionary waivers except for approved charitable and not-for-profit organizations, special humanitarian cases.
He says this became necessary as the government recorded significant reductions in revenue inflows during the first half of the current financial year.
Total revenue for the first 7 months of the fiscal year 2009-2010 was $156.5 billion, some $17.8 billion or 10.2% below budget.
Minister Vaz says all categories of revenue were performing below projection as the decline in the economy continues due to the global recession. Government expenditures stood at $235.5 billion over the period. That's $7.2 billion or 3% less than budgeted.
This, however, is an understatement as there is a large outstanding amount owed to various suppliers. Many of these companies are requesting that taxes and statutory deductions owed to government are used to set off the amount owed by government.
Cabinet has instructed that all such amounts for ministries be compiled and submitted for perusal. In the meantime, Minister Vaz says the government is committed to honoring all existing contractual obligations. A team from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, is now in the island. Their visit should advance the dialogue for